Leaving university was the best thing that I've ever done. And I'm not saying that it's for everybody, but it was specifically for me. And a lot of you, I think, can relate, especially this day and age, especially Gen Z. We as Gen Z, I would say, have more risk going to university now, less guarantee of having a future, right, than our generations before because of how much times are changing. And it kind of makes sense. Uh, for example, I wanted to be a programmer. I wanted to be a software engineer, and that job is actually pretty recent. It came out like 30 years ago, right? And it's already being replaced by other technology, aka AI. Obviously, I'm gonna talk about this topic because AI is very hot and it's actually the real future. If you're tired of hearing it, I'm sorry, but there's a reason why you hear it every single day, and I use it very, very often for a lot of my work, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. And that's the thing. It's we kind of forgot that times change pretty rapidly. I mean, software engineering was introduced only 30 years ago, and basically it's already somewhat getting replaced. Trying to get a entry level job as a software engineer is basically impossible because simple AI can make the simple jobs for you. So there's not much need for an entry engineer, and that's a problem because if you were to get your masters and all this stuff and that wasted so many, not really waste, but put so much time in years. Imagine you can't even get an entry job. You cannot even really step your foot into the actual workplace because all the entry jobs are already replaced with AI, and you cannot really blame companies for doing this because they're saving money. And AI is much more consistent. We are humans with feelings, so we're going to be much more inconsistent. And they're also just robots, so they're going to just do work on demand. I recently saw an article that AI costs more for companies than like a worker. The thing is that it's still worth a for a company to use AI even though it's more expensive because it does consistent work we can do basically with no pauses. Whereas human beings, we need breaks. We're humans. We need to eat. We need to go to the bathroom. So it's like it's just inevitable future. And a lot of people are like, oh, I hate AI. The thing is that those were the same people that were complaining when computers, Wi-Fi, the internet, and phones came out. So many jobs got replaced, but the people that were just keep on, hey, oh, this is slop, yada. Yes, it's slop right now, because it's new. Of course, you don't. Why do you expect it to be so great at the start? But look how rapidly it's all evolving, how much investments are going to, and how many companies have implemented this, such as myself. You can hate me all you want, but you cannot be resistant to change. I think it has a lot of benefit as much as it has downside. That's just how the life of how we work. You know, and coming back to the university topic, that is my big thing is that if you are going to university, and I think if you're not going to very specific specialties, when it comes to like handiwork, I would say is still very safe to go for university for because AI can't really replace that, especially not anytime soon, that many, many, many years. But when it comes to IT and stuff like that, put the fries in the bag, man, and like just kind of think about it. I'm not telling you to quit school, but you are not guaranteed a future anymore. You are not. And I saw that at the beginning. I went to university for online business management, right? And these types of degrees, I'm gonna be honest, if it's something very broad and unspecific and IT related, put the fries in the bag, bro. I'm sorry, but you're gonna scramble for work. So you're gonna work your ass off for a university degree and possibly even a master's degree for years of your life and then end up working in a McDonald's. I have so many friends. I had a friend recently, I had this conversation with him, that's why I'm making this video, is that he put years and years and years into IT. He did, I'm pretty sure, also when it comes to like software engineering or something along the lines. I mean, he got a master's degree and everything like that. He's working a janitor job with a master's degree because he cannot get an entry level job because all the AI has replaced it. All you need is one person that knows intermediate programming, and it's done for. And the entry level jobs are just controlled by that person. And because it's so easy to use. And this is where I kind of decided I quit university in 2003. And that's when AI was kind of like very introduced. It was very even way more ass than is right now, right? But compared to now, but I already saw the future because I've always been interested in history, so I studied a lot of history out of my own interests. And the thing is that the pattern that I've noticed is that people will people will see new technology or something new coming introduced, and they always expect it to be great, and they're instantly talking about that it's like slop and this and that. This was the same with phones and stuff like that, you know, when it was first developed. And I recognize this pattern that this is gonna be the same thing, and I took the gamble, you know. And I realized, like, even if I was to get this university degree back then in 2023, I was struggling to get a pizza delivery job, man. And you know, it's like the job market is so cooked that you cannot follow the rules of like, oh, I would just get a university, get a safe job, invest into property, and live a very comfortable life. It's not happening anymore. It's just not happening. We don't live in an age where you're guaranteed that anymore. In fact, I took the gamble, not really gamble, because I realized you are much more likely having success spending the years that you were going to spend in university trying to start a business than actually doing the university degree, you know? And it took me, I'm not here to like brag or anything, but it took me just a few years to get a income that is able to stabilize my life to some degree, you know, which I'm very fortunate. I'm very blessed. I'm very, very blessed. And I got lucky, but I also put a lot of hard work into it. I put a lot of sweat and tears and stuff like that. But the same tears that you put into your little essay where you're not allowed to use AI, bro, what? I recently talked to a friend, and they were like, I had to write this like 2,000, 5,000 word, whatever essay, but we cannot use AI. Are you dumb, bro? Nobody writes messages anymore out of their brain. I don't get not a single email I write, not a single email I get isn't AI anymore. So what are you doing? So even the school system are against it. But why? It's the future, man. Like you gotta do it. You gotta learn it, or you're gonna be behind, man. You know. So that's another reason why I left university. And it's that people, I think, especially my generation, we're coming to realize that it's just not that safe anymore to go into university, because I would arguably even say, from my perspective, the same blood and sweat and tears that you put years into university, if you were to put that into a business idea or something, that type of skill that you can monetize, you would get much better outcome out of it. I would make an absolute gamble on that, you know. But I know a lot of people, they go to universities for the experiences. That I can argue that is a great thing. But if you're somebody like me that cares much more about just having stability in life, and I didn't have much privilege when I was young, I couldn't go really back to my parents' house, so I was kind of forced, you know, to make things work ASAP. Otherwise, I would live a miserable life, you know. And so if you have that privilege to be able to take risk, do it. What's even better, what I would argue better, is a lot of people, if you have the privilege of you don't have to work a job, but you are still going to university, you have a ton of free time. Do a business on the side. Oh, but I'm exhausted from university. You're gonna be exhausted once you're 30, you have a family, you have no risk to take, and you're working a job you hate. You're probably gonna work like a janitor job. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna argue with your wife constantly. Take the risk now. You know, I'm not telling people to quit university. If you have the privilege to do university work and at the same time start a business, that's a way better situation than I was. But I couldn't. I had to only chose one thing. Either I was gonna work a part-time job and go to university, so I had absolutely zero time to do everything on the side, or I would have to go all in. And I took a bet on myself, and uh I don't want to celebrate too early, but it's been working pretty good, you know. And I think, especially a lot of people, when I ask them these days, my old past friends or people when I stream that go to university and I talk to them, I'm always like, oh, so what do you plan to do with your degree? They don't know, because I think they're starting to realize, like, man, the job market is cooked. It's cooked. And the problem is that in a lot of people when they're starting university, it's gonna take like 4 years or something, right, to get the degree. Do you know how much will change in 4 years? Do you know how much AI has already gotten way better since like the 4 years, which is insane? Yeah, sure, it's like, oh, it's still pretty dumb in this, but even looking at it from my perspective, I don't write a single message anymore in email. Everything's automated. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what business is for. That's what AI is, in my opinion, fantastic for. That's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to not us waste time on things that shouldn't be wasted time on. That's not a bad thing, you know? And I think a lot of people need to remove that unnecessary hatred towards AI. Yes, it's all a lot of people trying to make money from it, but who doesn't, bro? I'm here to say it, but all your content creators, all your YouTubers, all your TV shows, they wouldn't do it if it was for free. They wouldn't do it if it was for free. Everybody's trying to make a profit in this world, you know? Especially right now, it's hard to pay your bills more than probably in a long time, you know? And that's why also our generation is very obsessed with being an entrepreneur because we really are realizing, holy shit, we are cooked, man. I worked over, I believe, 9 to 10 jobs, something around one of those two numbers. And I did construction, I did handiwork, I did all this and that. Hard work doesn't pay you anymore, you know? That's another thing. It's like AI is supposed to make things much more lazier, much more efficient if you know how to use the tools. You just gotta spend time using the tools. And once you learn it, it saves so much hours of work daily. Hours of work get saved from me daily that I get to spend on something else. You know, that's amazing. But you know, like if you like, a lot of people also talk about like, oh, you need hard work in this day and age. You don't really need hard work anymore. Because I realized I built a very hardworking skill. I worked all the construction jobs. I worked at a warehouse. I did so much physical jobs when I quit university, right, to keep myself up afloat. And I realized like if you these people like there's people in the construction that are absolutely disgustingly disciplined. They're super hardworking. They worked overtime, no problem. But why are they getting paid so low? Sure, back in the days that was the case, but it's not like that anymore. It's more about these days, it's not about being smart. Smart is a big bonus, but it's more about you get an idea, you just execute ASAP. Because we tend to overthink things and we just never do it in the end, you know? Especially today, we have so many options to do so many things, and a lot of people, young generation, is struggling. And I used to struggle with this for a long time. What to do first in my life, right? Just do anything, be wrong, move on. Be wrong, move on. Be wrong. Oh, this is a little bit better. Let's expand upon this, and then you find something that you like. But you're not supposed to find things that you like instantly anymore. Back then, in my dad's generation, during the communist times where he was from, he was born in a village. He would stay in the village. He would marry a girl from the village, and he would work the job that his dad worked. And he was named exactly like his dad, you know. And you had to be hardworking and ethical. That doesn't work anymore, you know. And a lot of people, oh, that's so sad. No, it's not, man. Stop expecting the world not to change. Look at human history. This is why we study history, you know? This is why we study history because you recognize patterns that we humans, we like to expand upon and we like to evolve. We don't, uh, especially, there's just a group of people that always want to be expanded upon and want to always improve, such as myself. Why always live the same life and not like change? I think change is amazing, you know? But back to like the university thing, it's just not that. The reason I quit. I was there literally for a few. I was there for like a week, not even a week, and I realized this. I just finished high school and I'm going to university, and this motherfucker will tell me, "All right, write this essay. You have to sign this paper that you're not gonna use AI." That day I left because I was like, "This is behind, man. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean I'm supposed to use my hard work on something that's invalid? Nobody does that anymore. And that's okay, you know? And I think the only times that it is valid to go to university is when you're going to something like medicine, you're going to something like being a doctor, being an electrician, plumber, all these jobs, because AI is going to take a very long time to be able to do those jobs. Very, very long time. So I think those types of professions, that is the only worth case of going to university. That is the only. But if you're going to some dumb shit like I was, like online business marketing, psh, wake up, bro. Wake up, bro. You're already replaced. You're already replaced. I don't need no agency anymore. I do social media as part of my living. I don't need no agency marketing anymore. Years ago, sure, but not anymore. I don't like I'm already using AI. And that's not being mean. It's like, oh my god, another. You are the exact same person that was when internet was revealed. That people are gonna lose it. When internet was revealed, this was the exact same reaction, like the way we have with AI. Sure, jobs were lost, they were replaced, but that's just how the world works. You are not supposed to be in one place at a single time. If you are, good fucking luck, man. Good luck. Good luck. And I'm not saying this because I'm some fucking asshole or some shit like that. I'm saying this because I'm trying to save you like suffering, bro. I'm not here to tell you to quit school. I'm here to tell you start learning the right tools, learn AI. Learn start investing. I'm sure we all have some type of skills. We all have some type of advantages. Whether it's you're really good at, let's just say cricket, baseball, or something, trying to monetize it, you know? And yeah, but I don't want to monetize my hobby. Sure, okay. You don't have to do that. But I'm gonna be also really honest with you. It doesn't, you don't have to spend hours and hours. Once you have a business running, you just check up on it and you can do like an hour work a day. And then you get paid as much as I did in my office job back in the day that I had, you know? So yeah, I just really want to kind of talk about this. To summarize things up, I think if you are a person that is just going to university because they don't know what to do with their life and they're just choosing some fuck ass major like philosophy or something. I love philosophy, but if you're doing philosophy or you're doing marketing and stuff like that, unless you're learning the right tools with it, with AI and stuff like that, and trying to keep up with it, then you're in a rough spot, and you're about to get a big smacker by the world, like a big smacker, and then that's why everybody's complaining why they're not getting their jobs that they've studied years for, and they're working in McDonald's and barely getting jobs at McDonald's. They're sending like 100 resumes a day, like I did. Oh my god, I sent like 1,000 before I got a job as a pizza delivery job. 1,000. And I had certifications. I had a drone pilot certification. I already had eight IT certifications. I had really good certifications that I did online, from Microsoft, Google, and all this and that, until I landed my first corporate job. I didn't even have to do university, you know? I was like, excuse the hair, god damn it. But I didn't even have to go to university. And I got a really good paying job at an office job. They just trained you at the job, or if you had certifications, that was pretty good. That's it. That was good enough for them. And yeah, uh, I think this is the best solution for anybody, is that if you're a university student and you're young as me, you're in your 20s and or you're a teenager or whatever it is, and you're in university or high school even, I would say, you have a ton of spare time. Don't act like you don't. Don't act like you're always tired. Life is rough, but I don't think you're gonna realize how life is going to be much more rougher on you if you're not gonna take action instantly and try and do business on the side as you're doing university. You're so blessed, man. You have so much free time. Stop going to parties. Focus on genuinely on your future. Sure, go to parties from time to time, make some experiences. I'm not saying to quit, but like I think you're not ready yet for like adulthood. You don't realize like adulthood can slap you in the face once you get a horrible job you hate. You think you're stressed just in university. Good luck on your job, because that thing is much more harder, especially when you're stressing out about a job that you fucking hate and you despise it, you know. And it's not going to change unless you change and you adapt to the new age, you know. And a lot of people think like, oh, I'm not worthy of I'm not like good enough for this. If with this mindset, you're not, you know. And I used to be like that too, and I needed somebody else to tell me this. But if you're gonna think that you're not good enough, you're not gonna be good enough. There's no difference between you and me. The only difference that we have is the decisions that we make. And if you are not willing to make a different decision for your future, then life is gonna pay you the price, you know? Life is very giving and it gives you exactly what you ask for, you know? So yeah, this is my little video, 20-minute video. I hope you enjoy this. Shout out to Pikachu and Bulbasaur down there, going me on a rant. And yeah, I love every single one of you. I'm not saying this, I'm not telling anybody to quit university. I'm just telling you to, at least when you're doing university, to prepare for the future, because you're probably really blessed. Either you live with your parents if you're lucky enough, and you have nothing to lose. You don't have a family to take care of. Why not take as many risks as you can while you're university, you know? And yeah, I think you just gotta keep up a little bit with the new age, because I think especially university, they have not adapted yet. They have not adapted, which is really sad, unfortunately. But that's just the way that things are. And you gotta take it into your own hands, you know? So yeah, I love every single one of you. I did this video not out of because I hate you or anything like that. I'm just giving you my truth, and I wish somebody else would tell me this much earlier, you know? And I'm blessed enough to have realized this much earlier. I'm being very interested in history because that's why you learn history, you know. It's fun to listen to history, but you also gotta actually apply it to your life and recognize pattern recognition, you know. So yeah, I love every single one of you. Keep on mogging, take care of yourselves, and take care of yourselves by just investing into your future. Yeah, love you, take care.